Good morning. It is Sunday, December 17th, and the time is 10:24. I slept really good last night. I went to bed really late though. I was watching the reality show College Hill, Celebrity Edition. If you all aren't watching this show, it's a good one. I was like binging that all weekend. I watched the first season and the second season. They have like really good celebrity, like reality stars on it. What I liked most about watching the show was like all the educational information that they go through. Like I would love to go to like some of their classes and learn a lot of that history. I'm having a Yakult. Well, what is this called? It's called a Cool. It's like a Yakult. I love these things. They're really tasty and they like help keep you regulated. I feel like I need all the help I can get. I bought these guys because my apartment building had like a busted water pipe. So we didn't have like water for a couple of days. Well, not a couple of days. I think it was like a day and a half, maybe 2 days at the most. And we didn't have any water, so I went to go buy a couple of like bottles of water and stuff. It's fixed now, which is nice. That's the nice thing I like about the apartment building. They're really fast to like fix stuff. So I'm having 2 hard-boiled eggs this morning. I like having hard-boiled eggs. I like my boiled eggs with like a runny yolk. Typically, you have them for like 7 minutes. I guess it depends on the size of the egg. These are jumbo, so I put an additional minute on my cell phone. Nice. Good one. Good one, dude. Alright, so let's talk about my week. How has my week been? My week has been pretty good. I had a bunch of like job interviews lined up. So I was doing that all week. I feel like everyone's trying to hire for the new year, which is good. I wasn't on social media very much this week. Like usually I'm like updating my Instagram and the YouTube channel, but I just was like, I don't know, like I just was not, I guess I was not in the mood. Honestly, I don't know how these like full-time influencers do it. Like it's so much work. I just feel like these people are like constantly on, you know, like just, I would think that these people have like teams that help them do it. When you don't have a team and you're just doing it all yourself, it becomes really daunting. You're just like, oh, what am I gonna do next? What am I gonna do next? You know? And I was like, that stresses me out. Like the constant, like this constant like thinking of like, oh, I have to do this next best thing. Like I have to like do it. I don't know if that's what they really feel, but like that's how I was feeling. And so I was like, you know what? I think it's time I chill out. I like to put salt on it for sure. Oh, that's nice. See? Look at that. That's like the perfect consistency for like a hard-boiled egg. And it's still really nice and soft in the middle. That's so good. I can definitely see how like social media can be like a full-time gig. Like you're never not doing social media. People live like their lives online. It's interesting for sure. I don't know, sometimes I just like forget to do it, you know? So I was watching the episode, or I was watching the second season of College Hill yesterday, and it's the season with Amber Rose on it. I like got to like her a little bit more. Like I didn't know what she was about before. Like I'd seen her, like I thought she was just like a internet or like some like model, but like I mean she is that. But it was cool to see her like in an academic setting and like talk about who she like being biracial and like her ethnicity and stuff like that. I thought she was like the highlight of the second season, I think. No spoilers, but she gets kicked out. Which sucks. But I'm trying to be more mindful. I had like a bunch of like Mickey D's yesterday, and I was like, this is not healthy. I mean, I don't think Mickey D's is ever healthy. You just kind of eat it because like you like want it, you know. I feel like Mickey D's is kind of like that food chain. Like it's not like the best food, but you know it's not the best, but it's so fucking tasty. And you just want to eat it. I went ham. They had a special too. Anytime these restaurants have like specials, I'm all about it. I'm just like, yeah, give me whatever. Like I'll take the 50% off and I'll just buy like a bunch of food and just eat it. Although I feel like I am pretty cautious with McDonald's. Like if I do eat McDonald's, like if I have like, I'll usually eat it like in the beginning of the day, and then I'll just eat. I won't eat as much throughout the rest of the day. I think for dinner I had like a side salad or something really small. You know, it's good to balance it out. I had a okay like week. Again, I really didn't do much. It's been getting colder. And I love that I don't have to pay for gas, so I can like run my heater. But the good thing about my heater is that it's really powerful. Like if I leave it on for like 5 minutes, like maybe 5 to 10 minutes, then like my entire apartment is like fuming, and I've like crack open a window, so that's nice. Sometimes I forget that I have the heater, and I'll just be so cold in bed. I'm just like, wait, why don't I turn on this large heater that I have in my house? It's really weird. I saw that new movie with Julia Roberts. It's on Netflix. I don't know what it's called. Something End of the World or Leave the World Behind, or and actually it's really good. I enjoyed the directing. Because it was a director from the series Mr. Robot. If anyone's familiar with that, it's a really good show. I like the stylistic directing of that. It's the same thing with this film. I thought it was actually pretty good acting. Like all the main actors were actually really good. Like Julie Roberts, Ethan Hawke. I forgot the other male actor's name, but they were really good. It was wild. It's pretty intense. Like it's scary because you can actually see it happening. Like that's something that could happen potentially. I don't know. Does anybody else feel like? Okay, now talk. Does anyone else feel like the holidays are just kind of like a drag right now? I don't know. I feel like what it's like halfway through the month. I feel like nothing's going on. Everyone's having like holiday parties and stuff, which is cool. I am looking forward to Vegas for New Year's. I think that's going to be really fun. I actually have an oil change tomorrow morning because I'm going to drive out to Vegas. I feel like I definitely need to get out of LA and, get some fresh air and kind of get mobile. I feel like I've just been stuck at home. I'm not a traveler. I'm not like a big traveler for the holidays. Like everyone, like pretty much all of my family is like local in Los Angeles. So it's not like I'm flying anywhere for the holidays. So the idea of like, the idea of going out to Vegas is actually a really fun thing. I'm really excited. I'm going to go spend some time with a friend who graciously offered her home to me, and I'm so excited for that. Alright, I'm taking my prep and my vitamins here. It's always so weird when you feel it going down your throat. I didn't really go on my walks this week, which is like a bummer. That's the one thing that I'm really kind of disappointed about. Like, I was just kind of waking up really late and like not going out. And I feel like anytime that I like get out of my apartment and like go for a walk, I always feel so much better. So I definitely need to resume like my walking activities this week. And I feel like I'll start off really good since tomorrow I have like my oil change. That's like at 8 o'clock in the morning. I don't know why I made it for 8 o'clock. Oh, I wanted to beat like the traffic and like be home by a certain time. That's why. So that was a good call. I ordered like a bunch of like masturbation books, like just like the history of masturbation, because I feel like I need to get a little bit more knowledgeable about like the history and like how society viewed masturbation and like how masturbation is celebrated through different cultures and how it's viewed. I think that's really interesting to me. So I'm getting those next week. I think it'd be really interesting to like learn more about that, and then also like discuss it in my podcast. So there's this podcast, they had a topic on gooning, and I was listening to it and I was trying to get into it, and I was like, okay, this would be good. And, you know, at the start it was fine. You know, it's a podcast and we like talk it up, and like, you know, it's these two gay guys, and then they started talking about the subject, and then I just thought it was like not good. Like, you know, I think their first mistake was not having an actual gooner on the show to kind of talk to him about like gooner practice and you know, what that means, how to achieve gooning, and why people do it. So they were just basically taking their information off the internet, and like, it's the internet, right? you can't really trust the internet for what people say. And I think a lot of the information, a lot of sources, they were getting either off Wikipedia or Reddit, which is why for me, this was a catalyst to get like these masturbation books, because I was just like, okay, if I'm going to talk about masturbation, if I'm going to like know my shit, like I just can't take information from Reddit and like share it with the world, right? Like I have to get like, I just want to be more informative and educated about it. So, you know, I really want to take information from like doctors and psychologists and, you know, psychotherapists and people who like studied the impacts of masturbation, and also to like historians, like people who like researched how masturbation was viewed back in the day. So I was listening to this podcast, and I just felt like I didn't enjoy the overall attitude that they had towards the subject matter. I think I don't know who. There's two hosts. I don't know which host. I don't know which one is the other. I don't know which is which. But like one of the hosts just kept laughing it off. Like I don't know if it was like a nervous laughter or it was just like a laughter like, haha, this is funny. What the fuck is gooning? But it just didn't sit well with me. Like I was just like, this is weird. Like why? It almost came off as like, oh, this could never happen to me. Like those people are gooners. Like those people do these weird things. And I was just like, okay, it's coming off really judgmental. The other host is a little cooler about it. He was coming more from an informative, like neutral space, which is ideally what you want to do. Like, but I don't know, man. Like, if you're going to talk about a subject you have no knowledge about, like, wouldn't it benefit you from having a guest that knows gooning and knows the culture and, you know, can really talk about the different reasons why people enjoy gooning? I just feel like they could have really benefited from having, like, a guest who's an actual gooner that has been in the community, that has been in the culture to, like, really talk about, the physical acts of gooning, and a lot of people find it a spiritual practice. Like gooning is kind of borderline tantric sex, which they didn't really get into. Well, I actually really don't know. I like stopped listening. Like it took them 13 minutes to start talking about the subject, and then I was listening to like maybe like, I don't know, 15 minutes, 20 minutes of it, and I was just like, okay, this is a total turn off. Like I was just not invested whatsoever. Anyway, I just feel like gooning is such a sensitive topic, especially for people who are gooners, and then for people who don't understand it. Like, I can understand, like, from an outside perspective, watching someone who is gooning can be looked at as silly or extreme or weird, because, I think the physical manifestations of gooning can be really intense for some people. And I don't think people are used to that kind of freedom and inhibitions. And I think that's what gooning really is. It's total liberation of yourself and the perception from others. Like, when you're gooning, you don't really care what other people are thinking about you. Like, you're really just in yourself. And I think that this podcast missed that point. To me, masturbation is serious, and I don't take it as a joke. And I certainly don't see my fellow gooners as a punchline. So I don't know. It just didn't sit well with me. It totally turned me off, that podcast. So I'm really excited to like get these books and like dive more into like the history. I'm really excited to like be able to bring that educational aspect to my own podcast. I got a haircut this week, and I tried out a new barber, and I really like the job that he did. It was really good. My hair grows so fast. He like skinned it down to like a skin fade, but it's already been like not even a week. It'll be a week tomorrow since my haircut. Look how fast that hair grows. That's really fast. My hair grows so fast. I typically get like a haircut every 2 weeks. Every 2 weeks. Yeah, this hair's definitely maintenance. I'm not complaining though. I'm really happy that I have my hair. Look at this. This natural salt and pepper, honey. People always ask me too, like, is this dyed? Do you dye it? And I'm like, nah, bro, this is natural. This is literally natural salt and pepper hair. Curly and thick as fuck. It took me a really long time to like my hair. Just have it be what it's gonna do naturally. Like, as I've gotten older, like the curls have softened, but it is really curly, wavy hair. I like my hair now. I think I actually really have beautiful hair. Like, I think I want it as curly as possible. I gotta get a haircut for sure before I head out to Vegas. That is for sure. Because I gotta look good in Vegas for that. I mean, it's like we're going out, but still, like, I want to be cleaned up. Maybe take some selfies and pictures and videos and stuff. What are you all doing for New Year's? I feel like maybe it'd be fun to like host a party here in my place. I haven't done that. Actually, I don't think anyone. No, I'm not gonna do that. I just caught like a picture in my mind of like people in my place like hanging out. It gave me so much anxiety. I was like, no, I can't do that. I can't be like having people over into this space. So exciting news. The Bait Escape podcast, if you're not familiar, is my podcast. I talk about all things homosexuality. I talk about masturbation. I talk about gooning. I talk about intimacy. I talk about love. I talk about sex. I talk about sex acts. I talk about compassion and vulnerability and like all that cool stuff that happens with sex. And the Bait Escape finally has a sponsor. I'm so excited. I'm working with a new sponsor. They're testing me out. And I'm actually going to test out their product today. And I'm really looking forward to it. I think it'll be really fun. So I definitely have to work on that this week. I'm really, really proud of my podcast. I feel like, you know, when you do something really great and like you're continually doing it and you improve upon it and you do it because it's a passion of yours and you're like, this is it. Like, I love doing this one thing, and like it just keeps getting better. And it takes time. Like, you know, it could take a couple of months or it could take like a year. Ow. I always get my like nipple piercing caught on my shirt, and like, what was I saying? Right, like when you're really proud of something and you just keep doing it and doing it, and you're just like, okay, this is like, it just becomes like a normal thing that you do. Like, do you ever like not sit back and like appreciate like all the work that you put into it? Like, I feel like I'm never giving myself enough credit for like the things that I produce. Like, not everyone knows how to do a podcast, but yet in my mind, I'm just like, oh, everybody has a podcast. It's not a big deal. No, it is a big deal. Like, I'm putting in the work, you know, like I'm putting in the production, I'm finding the guests, I'm thinking about the questions, I'm doing the editing. And I'm really proud of it. Like, that's something that I'm like reflecting on a lot at the end of the year. Like, this podcast, I'm just like, wow, like almost for a year, I like gave up on the podcast. It's like, oh, it didn't really, you know, do well, or it wasn't getting a lot of traction. But like, I don't even remember why I brought it back. That's why I brought it back, because I kept getting messages from people and they're just like, oh, I loved it, like, why don't you bring it back? Or I'm looking towards more episodes. And like hearing that feedback, I was just like, oh, like people actually really enjoy this podcast. Like people like listen to me talk. So I was like, okay, cool, let me bring it back. It's nice, like now at the end of this year, like I've been doing the podcast the entire year, to like take the time to like sit back and reflect on like all the guests that I spoke to, like all the topics. You know, I don't, during the editing process, like I listen to it so much. I can listen to an episode in the editing process like 3 to 4 times before it actually goes live. So once it actually goes live, like I don't go back and listen to any of the episodes. And it was funny, I got hit up on Snapchat and someone was like, oh my God, I love your podcast. Like, you know, you were talking about something and I did it and you didn't like it and I'm really sorry about that. And I was like, I have no idea what you're talking about. Like, I changed so much in my life. Like, things that once bothered me probably don't anymore. And so like I'm constantly transitioning. And so people will reference like these old podcast episodes. I'm like, oh, I don't even believe that anymore. Or I've completely changed my like perspective on that one subject. So I think it's just funny. And I think it's really great to have like a history of like your opinions and your thoughts, and like to know that you're constantly evolving as a person and constantly changing and trying to be the better you, and like learning new information that you can look back on and say, wow, why did I think that thing on that subject at that time? You know, because it's mostly lack of education, lack of resources and knowledge. And so it's nice to, you know, come to a point now, you know, in the present day and be like, oh, that's like not who I am at all. So it's cool to like know that I have this catalog of me just like constantly learning about new shit. It's really neat. It's fun. I love running the podcast. I really want to make it like my main job, and like just continue to grow it. I think right now the bigger plans is to like get an actual studio, like a podcast studio that I can rent out and like actually have guests in house, because everything that I do is on via Zoom, because like all the people that I talk to are like not in my local vicinity, which is messed up, because I actually like these people. Like I feel like I would actually hang out with a lot of the people that I interview on my podcast. But my vision is to get like a really cool studio and like have like really cool like 2 chairs and like really nice microphones, and like have like different camera angles and like make it more high end of a show. I think that's maybe my goal for next year for sure. We'll see. You know, but thank you so much for listening to it, and I really appreciate You know, taking the time to like, you know, an hour out of your day to like listen to me talk about like dick and masturbation and other things too. Like, I just really hope that people find joy in it. You know, an escapism. You know, I think the world is really heavy right now. It's been heavy, and so, you know, if I can provide a little lightness in your day for a little short time, a little short distraction, like, I'm really happy to do that for people. All right, I feel like maybe I'm gonna try to get like more sleep. I don't know. It's like it's 11 a.m. now. Maybe I'll do some editing and stuff, but you know, enjoy your week coming up. You got this. It's gonna be amazing. And please like, share, subscribe, and turn on notification bells so you can stay tuned on all the videos that I'm doing. And check out, you know, and make sure you look out for that new video that I'll be producing this week. And let me know what you think. And I'll chat you on the next Goon Morning.